Hey there, dynamic minds! Get ready to channel your energy into a thought provoking exploration of Marxism and biographical criticism of the literature titled Africa by David Diop. Let's ignite those critical thoughts and make this discussion truly electrifying. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to start first with my Marxism criticism. In this poem, we can focus on the interplay between labor, exploitation, and the emergence of resilient spirit. The mention of ancestral savannas and proud warriors reflect a pre-colonial communal Africa that engaged in collective labor. The poem's acknowledgement of the speaker's connection to Africa through blood suggests an intrinsic tie to the labor and struggles of the continent. The lines detailing blood of your sweat and the sweat of your work allude to the labor of African people, potentially symbolizing the exploitation of their work during periods of slavery and colonialism. This echoes Marxist concerns about the exploitation of labor for the benefit of external powers. The image of the unbent back that never breaks under the weight of humiliation and trembles with red scars speaks to the resilience of the African people despite during oppression and exploitation. This could be interpreted as a metaphor for the proletariat enduring the hardships of labor but resisting submission to the oppressive forces. The dialogue with Africa asking if it is the back that remains unbent, and the response portraying a resilient tree springing up patiently, obstinately, may be seen as a metaphor for the potential rejuvenation of African society. The bitter taste of liberty could be a reference to the struggles and sacrifices required to attain freedom from oppressive system. In summary, this poem can explore themes of labor, exploitation, and the resilience of African people in the face of historical injustices in the gradual pursuit of freedom. Next, a biographical analysis of David's poem, Africa, could explore the poet's personal and historical context. Born in 1927 in Bordeaux, France, to a Senegalese father and a Cameroonian mother, Diop's mixed heritage influenced his perspective on Africa. Raised in a colonized society, he may have experienced the complexity of identity, belonging, and the legacy of colonialism. The lines, I have never known you, but your blood flows in my veins, and Africa, tell me Africa, suggest a profound yearning to connect with his African roots. Diop, growing up in a European environment, may have grappled with a sense of cultural displacement, making these lines reflective of his personal quest for identity. References to beautiful blood, irrigating fields, and the subsequent mention of sweat, work, and slavery evoke the historical struggles of African. Given Doib's heritage and prevalent racial dynamics during his lifetime, these elements may reflect his awareness of the exploitation and suffering endured by African communities under colonial rule. The vivid imagery of the back and bent and the trembling with red scars could be a symbolic representation of resistance against oppression. Doib, as someone with African ancestry and with a witness to the anti colonial movements, might be expressing solidarity with the resilience of African people who resisted humiliation and injustice. The dialogue with Africa and the metaphor of the tree springing up new could echo Diop's hope for Africa's generation and liberation from colonial shackles. This might be interpreted as an optimistic stance toward Africa's future, influenced by Diop's desire for a continent that rises against historical injustices and blossoms into freedom. In essence, a biographical criticism of Africa by David Diop could delve into how poets' personal background, cultural heritage, and the historical context of his time shaped the themes of identity, resistance, and hope in the poem. That would be all. I am Samantha June R. Torregosa, your analyst for today.